Hey everybody, welcome back. With us now we have Alitha Martinez. You probably heard her earlier in the episode on the Diversity in Comics panel. She's on Black Panther, World of Wakanda, and Riverdale, and I've already spaced out the one that was in the middle. What was that again? Lazarus, that was it. Awesome. So, Alitha, I wanted to have you on because more than anything, I kind of wanted to hear, what do you feel is kind of your goal as an artist and as a person of color and as a woman when it comes to being kind of the trendsetter or like the first in the door, like we were talking out there about. Tell us a little bit about kind of your ethos as an artist in the comic book industry.
Well, I always tell people comics is a 1% club. You have to be very good to get in the door in the first place. And it is a business. You have to run it like a job. It is your job. But at the same time, if something does not exist within the comic book world, someone has to be there to create it first. If they're not going to, as I said before on the panel, if they're not paying you to do it, they'll say, well, I'm not going to do it because they're not giving me any money. But if it's not there, no one will see it. So you have to put it there. You have to plant it. So some things I've done is just to plant it so it's there. And once it's there, they can't say it never existed. Because I heard a lot of the word no. Coming in, I heard a lot of no's. Just by looking at me, that word was no. And all of a sudden, 2008 happened. And bang, you see all these women coming, all these young girls coming. They're not hearing the word no. They can't. People contacted me from Brazil last week. I was amazed because they were upset that Marvel left me out of their whole overarch of their whole company and how all the artists are changing. They said, no, you changed this because, especially for a Spanish community, which I'm from as well, this is not considered a career. This is a poor career choice, especially for foreigners, especially for people of color, because they didn't bring you to this country for that reason, to waste your time doing comic books. They didn't bring you here to do anything. So I'd be a doctor, a lawyer, or electrical engineer. Anything else is a waste of your time. So imagine that. So you're hiding. I hid it. Like, unfortunately, like gay people hide in the closet. I hid it under a pen name. I had to hide. Now, girls don't have to hide anymore. You can come out. You can say, I want to do this. And if they say, well, no, you can't. And nor can you do it. Someone's done it first. See, I can do it too.
So as that kind of like torchbearer, like a standard bearer, what advice would you give to anybody that is that, the quote unquote other, when you think of the comic book writer or artist, you think of an old white guy, you think of Ditko or, Kirby or whoever. Like when you're being that torch bearer, what advice would you be giving to a person of color or a woman, or, even an overly young person or old person or homosexual? Like, what's the advice that you would give them?
It's the same advice that I heard from an author that came when I first got into the country, when I first came back to America. A writer had come to our school and he said, he writes every day. He writes whether he's sick or well, and he plans to write on his deathbed. I took that and incorporated into myself as a young child. So I draw every day. You draw whether you're sick or well, and you intend to draw for the rest of your life. And more so, you have to have a strong focus on what you want, no matter who you are, no matter which walk of life. Because remember, we are all experiencing the human condition together. That is the one thing I don't think people realize. We are all human together. You have to have that strong focus, because without focus, you're not going to get anywhere. You're going to let people shake your foundation and you will let go.
What drives you? Like, you have this passion, this energy that just stands out from literally anybody else I've talked to at the convention today. Like, what is it that drives you to excel, not just at your art and your craft, but just at being you? Like, what pushes you like this?
Well, that's a weird question for me because, I feel something, always a heat inside of me that makes me have to stand. And I am so tired all the time. And I get so weepy inside. But every time I leave the house, I put my mask back on. Because I realize you've got to show a strong front no matter what. Because you can't break. You just can't. You don't know who's watching. I've entered rooms and I might not have been feeling so well. And I have someone walk up to me with tears pouring down their face and saying, oh my God, I thought I was wasting my time. So you have to come out with everything, always. Because this is what I want to do. I want to tell stories. If this is what I want and this is my focus, then I better show it.
It's amazing to me. I'm half Mexican. Jesus, I hate when I do this in interviews. Juan's gonna make fun of me. It's gonna be awesome. I'm half Mexican. I'm half white, so I never fit into either culture. My white friends were like, oh, he's just the beaner kid. And my Mexican friends were, it's Widow, he's a stupid white boy. And you get beat and beat and beat and told, you're not good enough by all sides, like every spectrum. And, I feel that. I feel the mask every day. God, this happened to me at Con last year, too.
This is part of our
I know.
It's,
when you're reaching out to people, I guess when you're reaching out to people, the satisfaction is in that connection. When you make that connection, I guess when you make that connection, where do you take it from there? Like, how do you encourage people? How do you push besides just saying, find your focus, find your drive? Like, what kind of things do you do to encourage other artists, other creators around you?
I give them the knowledge. If they ask me a question, I will answer it honestly. If they ask me about, can I survive doing this? I will answer you honestly. But more so, I try to look at what you have to offer. If you want to do your own things, hey, guess what? I publish my own books too, Foreign and Yumi and Ever. I work on them every single day alongside everything else. I will help you. I will tell you what to buy in order to make this happen for yourself. These things are out there and available. I've tried them. You try them too. See if they work for you. I offer information, and most of I offer an ear. Sometimes people just need you to validate what they are feeling and what they know they can do. So you tell them, go and do it. And here's practical ways to get started. If you want to draw, you have to draw every day. I treat drawing 1 and drawing 2 at SVA. Every day I walk in and say, you have to strip your own style down. You have to be willing to look at that style first, because that's looking at yourself. That's looking at all the things you don't want to see. Those things, that mask that's underneath. Now here, lay it bare. That's the first thing I tell you. You have to lay it bare. Once it's bare, once it's in front of you, now we can deal with it. What do you need? I need to fix my anatomy. You want to write? Well, you have to take writing courses. You have to write every day. What do you want? You work on those little things. And the more you work on it, oh my God, it adds up. Next thing you know, you have your book. It is done. But it starts first, examine yourself. Find a like-minded person who's willing to answer your questions and ask your questions. Never be afraid to walk up and ask.
Why are you not a motivational speaker? No.
Because I get nervous in crowds.
When we were doing the panel yesterday, there was kind of a dichotomy, and obviously our listeners have heard that part in it, and the way I've been explaining it to people, because I thought it was a really interesting thing where part of the group was very focused on the market will drive what's in comic books. And your attitude was, like you said, if you're not getting paid for it, but you're the first one in the door, it's important to do. Do you feel a burden to push idealism past commercialism?
Well, I do for my own books. Because I work for industry and I've done it for 19 years, I understand what they need. I understand what they want and expect from me. But if they open that door just a little bit, they'll get a little bit more. Just like when I got to create the cast of World of Wakanda, they wanted 18, we got 14 because of time constraints, but that was 14 distinct new characters that did not look that way anymore. And more people walk and say, oh my God, these were different. And now that they're there, maybe somebody in the future will do something with them. It's important to plant those little seeds along the way. Because, as I said, they were written by white men for a white population, meaning that can't be helped. I don't like it when they compare Superman and lump him into that, because you realize that was written by Jewish people living in the ghetto. It was very difficult. And this character just blew up. He became. How did this happen? What was that formula? What did they plant? They planted a seed of, as I keep saying, sharing our human condition, sharing that suffering. All of a sudden, he's just Superman. We all wear the shield. I know I will. I'm going to wear mine tomorrow, but you feel it. We feel that character. We need that. Someone had to plant it. Well, these are here now, too.
In the panel, you were talking about, the iconography. Like, Wonder Woman is an icon, Superman's an icon, Captain America is an icon. What does the icon that you create look like?
We will have to wait and see. I'm hoping that my science fiction story takes off and that will be it. I can move into writing prose more seriously, because I think when you're looking at science fiction especially, that's when we're really stripping off. Because if you do science fiction just right, like when Spock died, that was such a sad day for the world. I can't even call him Leonard Nimoy because it was so sad. But at the same time, we got this beautiful gift. this dress that some woman in England was buying to wear to a wedding. They took a photo of it. Some people saw a dark blue and black dress. Some people saw a white and gold dress. And we battled this out that whole day. All of a sudden, the whole world is talking about this. You're not talking about, oh, she's not covered up properly. Oh, it's not sharing. No. All over the world, people were talking about what you see. That's what science can do. And that's showing you we can drop this guise of diversity. It can become our norm, our level. We can find our level. So I would like to, hopefully through my science fiction, would help us find our level as people so we can all come together and ask that question. Why? What's going on?
It's amazing to talk to you. Like, it gives me a lot of hope, and that's absent a lot of the time, and I really, really appreciate that. How do you go about continuing to feel hope when the world just seems so trashy sometimes?
I have a son, and I have to show him this is where you live. This is how you live. I know many people say, I'm a single mother, I'm divorced, and that's all another whole other ball of wax. But at the same time, I have to raise a strong man who can walk on his own in this world. I have a responsibility, not just to my son, but to everyone I meet, to let you see this is what you can do. This is what you can have. Look at how different I am. My God, look at all these people here. Can I be more different? Jesus Christ. But it doesn't stop me, so why should it stop you?
Alitha, thank you so much. I know we're running short on time. Can you please tell our listeners how they can find you and maybe ask those questions?
You can contact me through my website and read the first chapter of my book, Foreign, on www.arietstorm.com. I'm on Twitter, Arietstorm, on Facebook, Alitha E. Martinez. And, of course, if you just type my name in search engines, it'll pop up with all the Marvel wonderful things.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being on the show again.